This video is brought to you by Storyblocks.
Hey Janik, have you heard about the Drake In My Feelings challenge yet?
No, I haven't.
Well, start driving 50 miles per hour.
Okay.
And take over the camera for me, will you? How to do the Drake In My Feelings challenge at 50 miles per hour. Woo!
Hey guys, my name is Jordy for Cinecom.net and you're watching Copycat Friday. Every week we recreate an effect from a film or music video, and sometimes we also look at trends. We did that as well with the Invisible Box Challenge, which we took to the extreme. And we're going to do that again with the In My Feelings Challenge by stepping out of a car that is driving at 50 miles per hour. Now haters will say it's fake, and you're right, because you should never step out of a driving car. But before we get into that, I want to make a big shout out to Storyblocks, our main sponsor. If you ever need something like visual effects, stock clips, animations, templates, you name it, Storyblocks is probably the cheapest place to get them. With a single price per year, you can download unlimited video assets from their growing library. For more information, make sure to check out the first link in the description below.
Jordy, catch! I got it!
Now we wait for the pussy wagon to arrive.
Hello! You!
The pussy wagon has arrived.
Whoop, whoop.
Look at this, guys, our own copycat wagon. Let's bring this one into the studio. So the door just closed and we don't have a key, so I'm trying to open it with a different one. It fits in it, but it won't turn. Damn it!
So we're going to ask a letter from our neighbors.
We did it! Oh, damn it! I was just joking. Oh, damn it! Ah, I'm joking again. Wednesday, we tested if our idea would work, and it did. The idea is very simple. You take one shot outside of the window of a driving car. Try to keep your camera as still as possible. Then the second shot is going to be inside of that car, which is now just standing still, and with a green screen in the background. Very important here is that the sunlight is coming from the same angle in both your background shot and your green screen shot. Day 2, the tests went great yesterday, so now let's go outside and shoot the real thing. Now, since we needed some distance between the green screen and the car, we got ourselves a new green screen, and this one right here is 6 by 6 meters.
We have some troubles with the reflections in the car, but Jordy has a solution. He's gonna spray paint it. What's Kim gonna say?
Spray painting the car didn't work, the reflections are still there. So guys, if you don't see a video on Tuesday, it means Kim murdered me. Sorry, Kim. And of course, because the car is standing still, we have two leaf blowers right here set up. One is aimed at the window because we're going to shoot with an open window, and the second one is going to be aimed at when I'm outside of the car doing my dance move. Now, working with such a large green screen has the benefit of also shooting on a wider angle lens, because you need to make sure that the whole background is covered. And you also want to take some distance from the car. That reduces those reflections a little bit, and you don't want to cast shadows from your green screen on your car. If you don't have such a green screen, which is actually not that expensive, you can also go for a portable one.
Jordy, catch!
These ones are very cheap and super handy, but we're going to have to zoom in to make that fit into our entire background. I'll leave a link to some of those green screens in the description below. So we've got our two shots, let's bring them now inside Adobe Premiere Pro. First, let's bring that background clip into our timeline, and what I'm going to do first is drag the warp stabilizer effect to it. Since you were filming this handheld outside of the window of a driving car, there's going to be a lot of shake, and this effect will reduce that shake. The background sits in the back, which should also be out of focus, so let's drag the Gaussian blur effect to it and set it to around 15. And then you can bring the green screen shot on top of that clip, and this is going to be the tricky part. The green screen is not perfect. The wind was blowing, there were many wrinkles in it, so before we can actually pull the green out, we are first going to work on that. With the clip selected, head over to the Lumetri panel, from which you want to open up the HSL secondary. From the first setting, you want to select the green color. The top arrow makes your selection, and with the bottom arrow, you can feather that selection. And while you're doing this, you see how your selection or your mask looks. Don't be afraid to bite a little bit into your hair. Next, we have to define where that green is at. First of all, the saturation spectrum. The green screen sits more in the saturated part, so don't select too much from the left side, and always make sure to feather your selection a tiny bit. Then the lightness. Also here, make sure to select more of the middle and the highlight part. Digital cameras tend to be sensitive with green in their shadows, so try to stay off the left side. And once you've got your perfect mask or selection, we can now manipulate that green cloth from the bottom. Pump some extra green in it and increase that saturation. But now comes the most important part. Keying is usually hard because of the exposure differences. So what I'm going to do is decrease the contrast all the way and also decrease the sharpness to make that whole area smooth. When we now apply the Ultra Key effect to this clip, you'll notice that with only a few minor tweaks, we can pull a pretty decent green key. It will never be quite perfect if you're shooting on a DSLR. The compression on those cameras makes it always very hard. But this is a technique that makes it go easier, and we actually recently pulled out a green screen from this shot and an After Effects course that we're working on. And using that same technique, we were able to pull out a pretty decent key. Now finally, add some fake camera motion to your shot. These are free presets to which I'll leave a link to in the description below. You could have also filmed this handheld, but the reason I shot this from a tripod was to make it myself a little bit easier whenever I need to do something with masks, but eventually it wasn't needed.
How to do the Drake in my feelings challenge. Oh!
And that's how you jump out of a fast driving car, the safe way. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you Videoblocks for the support. And like we always say, stay creative.
Ja.
Oh, wacht hè. Anders is het klein.
Ja. Ja.